Good morning. My name is Billy, and I am going to be talking about preventing schizophrenia and mental illness, which is one of the grand challenges of social work. I chose to talk about this because, it's something that I've experienced personally with my mother, who lived with schizophrenia for many years before she passed away. Schizophrenia is so debilitating, and she was unable to hold a job for long periods of time. She abused drugs, she abused alcohol and other substances, and it just tore our family apart until we were able to really piece together what schizophrenia is and how it affects individuals. Um, and then one of the first things that the article talks about is how schizophrenia is the leading cause of disability worldwide. And with my mother, this is how she was able to gain insurance, things of that nature. So, you know, coming from a social work standpoint, I'm trying to see the strengths of the illness, but having lived it, I also saw so many of the negatives that comes with, this illness. And, we talk about safety in regards to individuals living with schizophrenia and how they are a highly victimized population. And what needs to be done about that is we need to really destigmatize mental illness. You know, in the black community, we typically tell people, "Oh, just pray about it." If something's going wrong, just pray about it and God will see you through. And I do not disagree with that, but I also understand that with severe and persistent mental illnesses, there needs to be medication. There needs to be some form of therapy to try to help the person gain some type of insight into their mental illnesses. And, for my mother, that's the one thing that she did not have. She did not have insight into her mental illness. One of the things she always said was, God promised me a supernatural healing, and she just would not take medications. And, I try to explain to her, well, sometimes you just have to take those medications because that can be a little bit supernatural, that you can take a pill and it keeps you balanced. But that's neither here nor there. One of the things that stood out to me in the article was where it said, educate social work students with emphasis on early detection and intervention. And this is something that I believe, should be done. Um, Again, having experienced this personally, I do believe that the more we educate people, the better we will be about this. Schizophrenia is not going away, and as time goes on and as modern medicine progresses, and just the health care world in general, we're starting to see more advances in how people get schizophrenia, and it is still unknown, and we don't know how long it's going to be unknown. But if we can follow those symptoms early on, or detect them rather, we can do more in the way of helping people to become stable for longer periods of time. We can, help families understand what their loved one is going through so that we can help them in the best and most safe manner possible. How the article concludes is basically saying that, we need to continue to develop and implement cross-sector collaborations as well as interdisciplinary collaborations in order to prevent the onset of schizophrenia. This is something that I agree with because having worked in interdisciplinary settings, I've seen the impact that multiple professions can have when working with individuals who have been diagnosed with severe and persistent mental illnesses. And the research suggests that meaningful and measurable progress can be made within the next decade to reach these goals. So, my proposal is that we continue to do what we've been doing. We continue to make strides forward so that we can make meaningful progress in order to help individuals living with these mental illnesses and help their loved ones uh, learn about the mental illness within that individual so that the best care can be provided and so that they can live as functional as life possible. I don't want to say normal because everyone's normal is different, but we want them to live as functional a life as possible. that's all I have for today. I hope that this presentation was slightly educational. I know I used a lot of self-disclosure, but that's how I like to do things. I like to explain to people what I've been through and why it drives me to do what I love doing, which is helping people and educating people. So have a great day.